Today, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use Notebook LM as a power user if you are working in product management, and also for those of you who are looking to transition into product management, come through. My name is Rich, and if you don't already know, we help people make a transition over to AI product management, both if you're an experienced product manager and definitely if you are transitioning to product management for the very first time. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you the following. Number one, what is Notebook LM? Why is it such a powerful tool? Some of the new features that have just been released. And then on top of that, what are some use cases for you as somebody transitioning into product management? What are some use cases for you if you're on the product manager job, and what are some use cases for you for everyday use? Because the more you're gonna go ahead and use this, just like any other app like Instagram, just like YouTube, just like TikTok, the better you're gonna get to using this app. So let's first go ahead and define what is Notebook LM. Notebook LM is part of the Google stack, and what it does is it stores notes, but it makes research actionable. Most of your time in product management is doing a whole bunch of research. So I'm going to show you how to navigate the entire portal right here. And if we take it from the very beginning, you are on this home screen right here, okay? And it also has a mobile app, so don't forget to go ahead and download that because it completely syncs. Having said that though, you can now just take a little quick browse. It lets you go ahead and upload all of this information in here. But we're gonna go ahead and click Try Notebook LM. Now I don't need to try Notebook LM because I'm already on Notebook LM. But the next screen you're gonna get is basically this. The case study I'm gonna run here with you today is something called Product Manager Job Hunting Game Plan. Now, for starters, we help people get product manager jobs. Something that people do a lot is actually reach out to the people that we help land jobs for and basically schedule them for a call. Because the truth of the matter is your time is way too valuable to be learning about, well, how this person transitioned over to finance, to fintech, or how this person transitioned from sales to product management. This person here, how we help them land a product manager job in the UK, how we help this person here land a product manager job in Canada. You simply don't have that much time to keep up with how many people we're getting jobs for. So what do you do with this information? For starters, you can go ahead and add all of these YouTube sources here under where it says source, and you click on add source and you can go ahead and add all of these different sources here. If you toggle down, you can also go ahead and add sources from the web as well as add sources directly from your Google Drive. Other things that you can also go ahead and do is upload actual files such as PDFs, Word docs, PowerPoints. This has actually been so helpful for people that are working as lawyers, management consultants, because there's just so much information in here. Because Google and YouTube is actually one family, you can also go ahead and add the websites, basically the direct YouTube URL links here. Something that it actually doesn't do right now is actually being able to add links directly from Instagram, which is somewhat annoying, but I think they're going to fix that problem really quick. Something else for you to go ahead and notice is it says 58 sources out of 300 sources. For the time being right now, 300 sources is the absolute max that you can add. But honestly speaking, unless you're getting ready to present your case in front of the US Supreme Court, what the hell do you need 300 sources? 58 sources is more than enough that you need. The next thing that I also want to point out is whenever you start a brand new notebook, the notebook name is completely blanked out and it says untitled. So having a very intentional name for your notebook is highly, highly advised. For this, it's Product Manager Job Hunting Game Plan. And basically, you want to take all of these different testimonials here that we've already, of people that we've helped get a product manager job for. Look at all these people. And this isn't actually even the full batch, but I wanted to go out there and add it in here because beforehand, it took a long time to go out there and load and process all of these different notes. So I didn't want to go ahead and unload the machine with just too much. But moving on from the name, the next thing that you also want to take a look at is you can check out something called analytics. And as of right now, there are no analytics to see because this notebook needs to be shared for the users. Currently, right now, I'm not sharing this notebook with anybody because I'm just recording this YouTube video for you. And you can go ahead and do the following things to it. If you go out here and click on filter, notebooks can be customized to help you achieve different goals. Do research, help learn, show various perspectives, or converse in a particular style or tone. Define your conversational goal, style, or role. So learning guide, I can have a custom right here. I can go ahead and create custom prompts. And if you guys want me to make a video on how you can create your own custom prompt, by all means, let me know. I'm basically here to help you prompt engineer anything that you need. But if I had a bunch of sources right here, I can also do things that are very different just because, like, what are you doing with this information? I want this information to learn how I can go ahead and get a job. That's one goal. Another goal that you can have is I want this information because I want to see if Product Gym can help me get a job. That's two. Or maybe I want all of this information to just go ahead and see like what generally people are doing. There's endless reasons why you'd be watching a bunch of YouTube videos on how to get a product manager job. Perhaps we are researching this as a business and say, hey, we are the owner of said school and we want to know, one of the questions that I always ask people is what else could we have done to expedite your job hunt? So I can also put in the custom instructions that basically I'm the one running this business and I want to gather customer feedback. So the first use case, maybe I don't have to be the person that's the customer. Maybe I'm just the person that's the business owner and I want to get to know my customer better. And I want to get more feedback because a use case that you have on the job is you got to interview a lot of customers. You have tons of recordings, but then it's like, what the hell do you even do with this information, right? So you got to be very clear because it will give you the answers that you're looking for if you are very intentional about the questions that you're asking Notebook LM. The next thing that you also want to be very cognizant of is it will already populate like these questions down here. How can I leverage AI to build a product manager portfolio? What are the keys to managing job hunting, mindset, and rejection? How does volume-based applying lead to better sound negotiation power? These were all questions that were generated with AI and I did not add them in. With the 58 sources, I also want to go ahead and teach you guys a few other tricks. You can go ahead and select all sources, or you can just have this, or you can be very selective with like, I want to go ahead and learn how to transition over from fintech, finance to fintech, but the main sources I want to go ahead and pull from is I want to go ahead and just pull that information from the other people that came out from a finance background. And you can go out there and pull a search query like that. We've also had people that have landed product manager jobs in our program from Canada. We have also helped people land product manager jobs in the UK. And you want to be very intentional. Okay, so how do I apply this framework to getting a product manager job in Canada or the UK? That's also something that you can go out there and do. But again, it always comes down to what questions, what information do you want? So now let's go ahead over to this function right here called Studio. I can toggle this out, and I can go ahead and toggle this out. And I'm just seeing all of this. So this just makes for better navigation. So I'm going to add these two back in, and let's go ahead and take a look. Audio overview, this is actually things get very interesting. I can now create either a deep dive, a brief, or a critique, or a debate with this information. And I can also go ahead and make a podcast with it. So I'm going to show y'all a deep dive, and I'm going to show you two use cases right now. Deep dive number 1, hacking the product manager job hunt.
He needed the system to recognize.
Scroll through. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are looking at a stack of research that honestly gave me a bit of anxiety just reading through it.
Oh yeah, I think anyone reading this would feel the exact same way.
Right, because we are talking about the job market, but not just the general, it is tough out there headlines you see on the news.
It is the actual word the sources are using. We are seeing terms like the closest thing to combat that candidates have ever faced.
That is,
We overload the input.
which brings us to this candidate named and his numbers just do not seem real to me. He applied to 3,000 positions.
3,000.
How is that even physically possible? If I applied to 3,000 jobs, I would be 80 years old by the time I finished.
Well, he did not do it by hand tailoring every single one. That is the shift. And the result of that volume was he landed a job that took his salary from 65K to 110K, but he had to brute force the funnel.
So you can take all of this right now and create a very conversational like podcast that you can listen on the way to work. You can download, you can upload it. We're going to upload this actually for our own podcast. Something else that you can also go ahead and do is do a video overview. And we actually have this video overview right here. Actually, no, this is actually, it did all the slides for us, which is freaking insane. It is absolutely insane that it did the slides. Look at it. The wartime product manager, how to land top offers in a broken market. Okay. And you can actually play it. Right. Insane. Wow. Wow. Now, as of right now, you cannot edit it, but you can, however, you can download it, you can upload it in a little bit to Canvas where you can actually make the edits. You can have a mind map feature that I built out too. And because we're here based in New York, we work with a lot of people where, and I'm going to give you guys the lowdown on it. See, it says sources is 58. And sources down here is also 58. But like for fintech, right, we pull that out. You have a mind map of it now. And you can go ahead to what are the transition challenges. Well, cultural shifts. You have suit and tie versus hoodies, high pressure and long hours, internal blockers, imposter syndrome, lack of technical vocabulary, fear of coding requirements. Let's talk about the job hunting strategy, right? And we can go out there and expand all of this. And you can see it. AI portfolio, and it goes wider and wider and wider and wider. Like systems and routine, time boxing, daily schedules, tracking via Excel or Airtable. All of this here was very, 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 very centralized. And I can also go ahead and just download it. I can also go ahead and opt out of it. And I can go ahead and come back, and I created another blueprint right here, same thing, and we can have all this information out here. And it's slightly a little bit different pulling in from all of that, but now you can get this whole granular view about why people at Product Gym are just so successful. So I'm just going to go back over here. You can also create a little bit of a quiz for yourself. Right. According to the recruitment expert Steven, what is the primary benefit of storytelling on a product manager resume compared to just simple bullet points? It ensures. So if you wanted to remember the information a little bit better and quiz yourself, now you can go ahead and do it. I can also create a podcast in Korean. It's crazy. Hang on, let me go back over here. My Korean podcast.
써 예쁘게 쓰는 법이나 면접 예상 질문 리스트 같은 가벼운 팁이 절대 아닙니다. 이건 훨씬 더 근본적인, 어쩌면 생존에 관한 문제를 다루고 있어요.
생존이요?
네, 수만 개의 이력서가 쏟아지는 정보의 홍수 속에서 과연 나는 시작
볼륨이었습니다.
볼륨의 차원이 다르죠.
우리가 보통 구직을 한다고 하면 내가 가고 싶은 회사 몇 군데를 추려서 커버레터 단어 하나까지 다듬어서 내고.
Okay. And this goes back to the audio overview, which I'll go ahead and do this. If you have a debate feature, this is probably one of the best features on here because now you can go out there and have a trade-off. So if you're on the product manager job right now and you're wondering, hey, which CRM should we go with? Or should we go ahead as a company, go with OpenAI or Claude? You can actually have two very extreme perspectives on both sides arguing against each other. So instead of just having a lively conversation between two hosts, unpacking, connecting the topics and the sources, you can now represent, like, with this information here, like two very different perspectives. Having said that, you can also go ahead and actually formulate in the prompt down here is, how can I go ahead and represent, like, as a lawyer, how can I go ahead and represent this point versus this other point? So much you can do with it. Even on an interview right now, if they're talking about how would you measure the trade-offs? Okay, let me go ahead and show you with Notebook LM. Other things that you can do, you can make an actual full-on narrated presentation.
All right, if you're a product manager trying to land a job right now, you already know it is just chaos out there. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We've got a playbook built from the real stories of people who just landed jobs in this brutal...
It's done all of it, and then it's also done
Turn an idea into a real working product. So, you've adopted the PM mindset. You're combining that high-volume playbook with real, tangible proof of your skills. What's the payoff for all this hard work? Well, the results are frankly just astonishing. Think about that for a second.
Now we can go ahead and actually take all of that information and we can now upload it onto like a presentation, and it's going to work out for us. So, which we're looking forward to doing. What else do we have out here? Infographic. Actually, did I go ahead and AI Product Manager Career Roadmap? Yeah, this is actually the infographic. So now we can use this as social media, right? The AI Product Manager job search from layoff to multiple offer success. Phase 1, wow. Time box, internal blockers, wartime versus traditional method, application volume, traditional 3 to 5 per week, 30 to 60 per day, interview per week. Wow. So we're creating all of this content in here. That's amazing. We have the slide deck, which we already showed, and we can do a data table if we really wanted to. But the data table, it's also, what do you want it to do? The cool thing about all of these different features is you can plug in whichever language that you want. It doesn't just have to be in English. So, in hindsight, this little tutorial here is fantastic for anybody that's looking to go ahead and showcase their skills. On the interview, before the interview, you can use it to go ahead and do a bunch of research on the company. You can add the company's website directly on here. You can also go ahead and pull maybe Reddit threads all on here, and you can add it in, and you can formulate like a presentation. Everything you need to know about the company is basically here. On top of that, that's just really aligned with how product managers right now really need to understand how to present information, because the curriculum that's coming out is called Google OPAL, that's coming out for us, and you can see here, this is the senior product manager at Google Labs actually giving you a walkthrough of OPAL, which is Google's version of the AI, of agentic AI, which we also have coming out too as well, which right now is about a good time for me to go ahead and walk you through. If you're serious about making the transition over to AI product management, reach out to me on LinkedIn, schedule a call, so we can go ahead and get you booked and see if we can actually fit you into our program. With that said, let me go ahead as a final close off, let you know right now. As of the time of this recording is February 25th, 2026. We are coming fast to a close for Q1. We have already provided, we have already updated our curriculum for people to target VC product management roles, growth product management roles. We are going to have a list of custom product management job hunting plans for very specific companies, and as you can tell by this list, these are all a lot of the leading companies right now, and we're going to get ready to release that curriculum as well. We have a blockchain and crypto product manager certification coming out, a fintech product manager certification coming out, cybersecurity product manager certification coming out. With all of that said, we are now well on our way past the Google AI stack. We've already finished GEMS. We're covering Notebook LM in our coaching calls this week. And then we are going to be covering Canvas, Pomeli, Nano, and my intention is to go ahead and start moving into Grok, Lovable, along with all these different vibe coding applications, 11 Labs, Perplexity, and then finally moving on to the generative AI, AI-powered marketing, the AI, like the design portion of AI, and then ultimately moving into the agentic AI where we automate all these different processes. If you don't want to be left behind, and a lot of product managers already feel like they are, please reach out to us as soon as possible. I'd love to go ahead and see if we can still fit you into our team. But with that said, go out there and talk to you very, very soon.